Hi guys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Kook Shed, my own little YouTube channel where I share tips and handy hints and reviews to do with surfing, bodyboarding and even a little bit of skateboarding as well. So today we're going to be talking about wetsuits, in particular a feature on some wetsuits that you just might sort of want to steer clear of when buying a new suit. Now we're going into summer here down in Australia in the southern hemisphere, but up in the northern hemisphere you guys might be thinking of getting a new wetsuit for the coming winter. So yeah, hopefully this will help. So what I'm talking about today is liquid sealing on wetsuits. So some wetsuit companies have come up with an idea which is actually a pretty good idea in concept, and what that is they seal the seams of a wetsuit with liquid plastic. So they get like plastic when it's warm, and they run it along the seams of the wetsuit on the inside or the outside of the suit. Now this is designed to keep water out and to keep you warmer. So we're mainly, sorry I should have told you, we're mainly talking about warmer wetsuits here, like steamers, full length wetsuits. So this tutorial or tip video is mainly for people who live in colder, chillier climates who wear steamers, because this feature is mostly found on them because it's designed to keep you much warmer. So what they do is they put this liquid sealing along the seams of a wetsuit, the critical seams, sometimes all of them, and it's just designed to strengthen the existing seam's ability to repel water, to keep it out, and also to keep the water that's already in the wetsuit and between the suit and your body, it's to keep that in. So a wetsuit's designed to allow a little bit of water in during the surf, and your body temperature will heat that water and keep you warm. So my main issue with the liquid sealing technique is that it doesn't seem to last very long at all. Now it's been around a little while, and maybe they're going to get better and better at this technique. Maybe in future liquid seals might last a bit longer, but at present what I've found is that it doesn't last very long at all. I don't know if you can see this. I'll bring it up to the camera a bit. So this is a wetsuit that the liquid sealing has started to fail. You can see it's perished and it's cracking, and this is not good for the efficiency of the seal. Hopefully the camera is not blurring and can pick that up. So yeah, it's not good. You might get 3 months where the seal is still intact, maybe more. Depends on how you look after your wetsuits. But I've found even if you do look after them, over time they do sort of perish and stop doing their job. Now this isn't so bad if the seams are already glued and blind stitched. So glued is when they're attaching the pieces of the neoprene together, they put glue in between. It's a different type of glue, not the liquid seal glue, and then they blind stitch the pieces together, and that's a very efficient way of sealing up the wetsuit. So if you've got a glued and blind stitched wetsuit, you might see it on a catalogue as GBS. That's already a really warm, great type of wetsuit to keep you warm when you're surfing. But some companies will have a flat stitch wetsuit, which is the most basic type of stitching. It's like a flat lock stitch, and they'll use the liquid seam to seal that up. Now, if that liquid seal fails, which they invariably do, then you're stuck with a wetsuit that's just got a flat lock seam, which is not very water resistant, and water will go in and out. Now, I'm sure there's going to be someone that's like, oh, I've had a liquid seal wetsuit, it's lasted me forever, rah, rah, rah. Well, I'll say you must be very lucky, or you don't surf much at all. Because over time, the flexing of the wetsuit, when you're getting in and out of them, or when you're surfing in them and moving around and twisting and turning, that's what puts strain on these liquid seals. So at present, I don't think they're designed to last very long at all. Like I said, they're a great addition to an already existing good seal, like a glued and blind stitch setup. But yeah, if the company's just using them to seal up a flat lock seamed wetsuit, I think you might be disappointed after a little while. The black plastic, it cracks off. It'll come off on your skin. When you get your wetsuit off, you might see it where the seam was, or even worse, if it's on the external, like on this one. If it's on the external seams, which you might see more commonly, it will crack off and actually go into the water. So we don't want to add more plastic to the oceans if possible. I'll just bring that in. You might be able to see. I'm hoping the camera picks that up. So you can see there a bit started to peel off there. So leaving the seam underneath exposed. So then this one's relatively in good condition, this seal, but you can see it's already cracking. Now you can sort of slow down that process a little by making sure you rinse your wetsuit in fresh water after every use, and you can hang it in the shade out of direct sunlight, because sunlight does crack these as well, makes them really brittle really quickly. But even if you do that, I believe that they will still perish pretty quick. So you might find a really good looking wetsuit at a great price, but if they're using the liquid seal, I would recommend checking out some other types or some other brands of wetsuits, or keep shopping if you're after good value for money. Speaking of that, some people will buy a used wetsuit. That's totally fine, but if you buy a used wetsuit that has had liquid sealing, definitely check the seals, because I think you might find, unless it's brand new or only been used a few times, you're going to find cracking somewhere on these seals. It's a shame because they are super warm. They're a good idea, really good idea, and I hope they get a bit better at using this technology. It's a real shame, because I think they can be super warm, and like people in chillier climates, I'm sure they love them, but it's just, if you're after bang for your buck and a wetsuit that's going to last and not put plastic pieces into the ocean, the very ocean that you're out there enjoying, yeah, I think you'll find you might want to look at another type of wetsuit. So I try not to put negative reviews. I think there's already enough negativity out there. I try not to diss brands and things like that, but that's one thing I have found that is just not working at the moment. And you'll find good companies too, like good wetsuit companies that and respect and have had great suits. Every now and then they'll have a liquid sealed seam model, and it goes on that. So yeah, stick with your favourite brand, but I would skip the liquid seal if possible. At the moment I think it's a gimmick that only lasts a short while, and then after that you're relying on the quality of the stitching and the gluing underneath. So before I finish, I'll just show you one that you might want to consider instead. So instead of just ragging on the liquid seals, I thought I'd counteract it with a bit of saying what you can do. So look for a wetsuit with glued and blind stitch and taped seams. So tape is a little bit different. Taping is a different material, and they will actually tape along the seams instead of using the liquid seal, and they're far more effective. They will perish over time, just going in the salt water and drying out and all that sort of stuff, but I found they're much more reliable and efficient than the liquid seals. So I'm hoping the camera will pick this up. So this is taping. This is what you're looking for in a quality, well-made suit that doesn't rely on liquid seals. So these seams are glued underneath and blind stitch, and then they've actually taped those seams as well. So they're basically doing the same as what a liquid seal will do, but just in a much more reliable way. You can also see here, pardon me, they've reinforced stress points, weak points on the wetsuit where stress might be put on the wetsuit. They've actually reinforced them as well. So that's a sign of a suit that's going to do its job quite well and keep you warm in the chillier climates. So that's pretty much it. I didn't want to harp on too long about what not to do. Hopefully that helped you in some way. You might have already had experience with these liquid sealed suits. You might have had one that lasts a really long time. If so, yeah, let us know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear how long your liquid seal suit lasts. So that's pretty much it for now. If you've got any tips on how to make those seals last longer, or if there's a brand that you've noticed has a different type of liquid sealing that seems to work, well, yeah, let us know. People do read the comments, so that might help them in picking a new suit for winter. So if you want to see more stuff like this, more tips, handy hints, well, hints that I think are handy, and reviews of surf gear and bodyboarding stuff and some skating, yeah, hit subscribe. If this was helpful to you in some way, this video, hit like. If you didn't like it and are inclined to hit dislike, well, yeah, maybe you should get off YouTube and go for a surf instead. It might be just what you need. And yeah, I'll see you next time here on Kook Shed for more of the same. Thanks for dropping in. Catch ya.